A great concept that we can use in helping our visitors stay focused on certain elements is animation. When we apply animation to certain elements in our design, it'll help those elements stand out so that our visitors can stay focused on what matters most. And within the latest release of Studio, we now have the ability to add motion on any element that we want within our website. So I want to show you how we can take advantage of this. Here we can see the very first image takes up the whole screen, but let's add some animation right when this image appears and right when the website loads. So all we have to do is make sure that we have this image selected, and then we can come over here into the top bar and let's click on motion. Now we can set some properties within Studio to tell it where the image should begin right when it appears and where it should end. So in the top bar, in the very top right, we have condition, and we want to click on the appear checkbox. So we're going to say before this appears, we want to change some properties here. So maybe let's change the X scale here to 1.5. And as soon as we click away, we can see how that's skewed. Now we can decide where this grows from, if we want it to start from the left-hand side or the right-hand side or the center. So the origin, I'm going to have this in the center. And this looks a little bit weird right now, but when I change the opacity, I can change this down to 0.4, for example. And just so we can see that smooth animation, I'm going to click on 1000, which is 1 second. And I might want to delay this 1 second. So maybe we'll click on 1000 here. So all we've done is said before it appears, this is what we want it to look like. And then as soon as it appears, we want it to animate into something like that. And we can click to see that animation again. And I think that looks really good. So let's move on here. We might have a card right here showing a location. And so we can add some hover animations as well. So if we hover our mouse over this section, we want to click on motion, set the condition to hover. And we're saying while we have this hovered, let's scale this by 1.2 and 1.2. We also have some on-screen controls for skewing. So you see how we're changing the skew here. And I'm going to undo that. And you can also change the X and Y scale here right on the canvas. Now here, this is going to grow from the center because we have the origin set at the center, but we can start off from the top left, bottom left, or any area that we want. Now let's change the duration to 1 second, and the delay we can just have 0.2 seconds, so that's 200 right here. So as far as easing goes, it might be a little bit complex, but if we look at this here, we can see that the horizontal graph here is the amount of time, and the vertical graph is how much animation happens within that time. So you can see here the animation might start off slow, and then quickly speed up, and then at the end slow down, so it has a nice easing. If we have something linear, that's just a constant motion from beginning to end, it would look something like this. And that seldom looks too pleasing. So what I like to do is just have this slow down towards the end and slow down a little bit towards the beginning, just for some nice natural easing. So now this is set to hover, so I'm going to uncheck this now. And let's just click on Live Preview and see what this looks like right now. So we'll click Live Preview. We can just click on this URL here. It's going to open up a new tab. And you can see here that now this image is animating back into position. And here, when I hover over this, we have that nice smooth animation. And it looks really good. And now let's add some animation down below. We have an image and some text here, so it'd be nice to show this image coming in from the side and the text also coming in from the side when it appears. So let's double click on our first image. And we can click on motion here. And under the condition, we can click on appear, so we can say as soon as this image appears, and we can even drag this off the screen here, or maybe even over here to the corner. So we can say maybe start off here. Let's start off at like a 0.3, so it's kind of faded out. Now I want the duration to be a second, just so we can enjoy that animation a little bit longer. And I'm going to set the delay to 0.6 seconds. So now we're saying when that appears, then show that animation just like that. And over here we can grab this text, go over to motion, set the condition to appear, and maybe here we want to just grow this maybe from the top right. We'll set that to 0.3, and the duration can be 1 second, and we can do 0.6 second delay. And after we're done with all these settings, we'll click Live Preview once more, click on the link, and now let's enjoy all the animations that we've applied on our website. So we have that image growing in from the center. We have that nice hover effect right here. And as we scroll into view, as soon as this appears, it's going to have that delay and then it's going to come into place here. So that looks really good as well. Now that you know how motion works, all you have to do is click on any element in your design and play with these motion properties under the certain conditions like hover or appear.